America is a special country, blessed heavily by God. But I also feel like that we take all this for granted. We are so extremely privileged to live in this country, and no one is really that grateful to live here. There are even some statistics saying only 11% Gen Z says they're proud to be American. I will never deny the problems that we have in America, but understand that we have more freedom than any other nation. Here are the top 10 reasons why America is the greatest country on earth. Number 1, let's start with freedom. Now you might say, doesn't Canada, Germany, or even France have freedom? Well, to a certain extent. Canada, first off, is a joke. The Constitution says you have freedom of speech to the extent of the government, and even then, look at Canada today. Bill C-11 limits what you can watch on YouTube if you're in Canada. Bill 96 in Quebec, make sure there is a language police, where they will literally fine your restaurant sign if it's not in French. Even in minority groups, and I thought Canada loved minorities. Italians have faced discrimination there. Stop making crap up, and how about fighting to give them their freedom to express their culture? Canada almost even made a man give up $40,000 for a joke. A joke. What's worse is that out of the 9 justices, this went to the Supreme Court. Not only that, but the other judges chose to destroy the freedom of speech. Only 5 defended freedom of speech. Like, only out of literally all 9, only 5 of them chose it. So this is barely a win, which is very scary. The ones that went for freedom of speech are retired, and now we are waiting for Justin Trudeau to choose them. I probably think he isn't going to pick the best justice. France and Germany aren't any better. Germany has shown so many times where they will censor things they disagree with. They banned the German flag. No, not that German flag. The German Empire flag. They dared to compare the German Empire to the Nazis. That's a load of bullcrap. The German Empire is nothing like with that. I get it, some far right people used it, but that doesn't mean you just ban things that align to the great culture of Germany. You are literally banning your own culture. I'm pretty sure that's not really a good thing to do. France also, every few years, has been upping the age of retirement without the way the Constitution says how these decisions should be made. Europe is not as free as America. Now, you can make the argument of morality, seeing how LA or New York City are more perverted, but you can't say America doesn't have more freedom than Canada or England. Reason 2, military. This segment is a little smaller, but still, the US military is so massive that we can fight countries thousands of miles from us. Switzerland might make fun of us, but their military is literally us. We can destroy China militarily. They might have more ships, but we have massive and powerful ships of our own, and not only do that, but we have more planes, equipment, and projectiles. They might have a higher population, but it's all quantity, not quality. Face it, we have the strongest military in the world. We could probably beat Nazi Germany even if they beat Russia without nukes. Number 3, our history may not be perfect, but we have done so much to advance the world back then. First, the slave trade was used by European countries. America itself used it the least. Yes, it was wrong to use it, but remember, the North hadn't engaged in slavery. Only the 4 million populated South. Meanwhile, the North had over 16 million people. There might have been 4 million slaves, but the people who owned them were rich Southerners and not the soldiers. Most soldiers had not even seen the worst of slavery. They were brainwashed. Most of the people who owned them, were a very, very small amount of the population. They just owned hundreds of them, which is really, really horrible. But I'm making the point that, it was a horrible thing, but slavery ended due to the bravery of the North. There were even 100,000 black men who fought in the North. Finally, how do you pay back slavery? By marching with 100,000 men and burning, raping, and assaulting the South and all their cities. Now, I will say owning people is one of the worst things you can do, and it was evil. I'm not justifying slavery or downplaying it. I am making the argument that slavery is not part of us anymore. And like every other country, we just need to just let go. We recognize we did that. That's why we have a Black History Month. At the time of making that holiday, America was like 80% white. And we unite with them because guess what? They are American just like us. Stop calling it, Black Americans or white Americans. We're Americans. We're American. We're part of the United States. We, not only ended slavery early, but influenced other countries to change. We fought in World War II and destroyed Nazi Germany, an evil nation, and defeated the Soviet Union, another very evil nation that did the same thing as the Germans did, but on a bigger scale. You might say that they killed themselves, but if we did nothing, Europe would have fallen to communism and they would have all died. Communism just didn't work, and it would have starved Europe to death. Number 4, economy. You might say America has $30 trillion in debt. Well, we have a $25 trillion GDP and $76,399 GDP per capita, while having a 30% tax rate compared to Europe, which has an average of 45 to over 50% tax rates. You think I will ever live in Europe? Hell no! I will visit it, but I will never live there. The USA has not only a higher GDP than the British Empire, mind you, at their height, but also the most powerful currency. Inflation might be horrible, but even after having 2 years of massive inflation and everything getting expensive, we are still growing and we are still enduring. We can literally have another Great Depression and still be at the status of a superpower of the world. Number 5, limited government. This one sounds similar to the first one I said, but my point for this one is many people believing the president has lots of power, but the president has lots of heavy restrictions. The president can't make laws, only enforce them. The president can't just tell the states what to do. If the president tries getting a dumb law passed, the Supreme Court can take a look at it and decide whether it's constitutional or not. Not just that, the legislative branch, who makes the laws, is split between the House and Senate. So not only do you need to take control of the Senate if your party wants to be corrupt, but you also need to get through the House. Then the president, who can just veto it if they know if it's a dumb idea. It's hard getting dumb laws in. What's harder is getting amendments in. You need not only a 2/3 majority in the House and Senate, you also need to ratify the amendment by either a 3/4 majority vote of the states or a ratifying convention of 3/4 of the states. That's why our politicians who try so hard to poison this country have a relatively hard time doing so. It's easier on a state level, but the federal level is insanely hard. Number 6, republics. Remember, we are not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. When the US broke from Britain, they made a constitutional republic, which still stands against the test of time, even after almost 250 years. Not only that, but throughout that time, the USA had influenced many countries, and is now the reason Europe, South America, the Americas, and other countries around the world have republics. The USA changed the world and advanced it all to another degree. None of that was done due to America attacking out of evil. It was due to saving Europe from communism and fascism. The USA was technically the first real republic, or at least the one that started the next step. Because of that, Europe became part of the America's sphere of influence and had their own republics. Without the USA, we would probably all have a dictator-like world. Number 7, wealth. You can't deny capitalism has made us extremely wealthy. Most of the wealthy people that made their own money and did not inherit it, unlike Europe. And it has made us so rich that a poor person in the USA has the same living standards as someone as middle class in Mexico. Seriously, think about this. You wake up on your comfy bed, get your toothbrush and toothpaste in your own clean restroom with a well-working toilet, check the time on your $300 iPhone, scrolling on TikTok probably while sitting on your, really good, clean toilet seat, and see infinite entertainment, mind you. Then go to your job where you most likely are not doing much physical labor. You drive your own private car, go through cities that have been around for a century or two, bigger and better than ever, on ginormous infrastructure that holds out millions of people and work for probably not above 12 hours for the day. And go to your bed where you could sleep without much interruption. Yeah, living in America is horrible. We are the wealthiest people to ever exist, so don't complain so much when you have access to more information than any other person in the history of the world. Number 8. Massive amounts of immigration. This one I will talk a little bit about, but the fact that over 2 million people from just the southern border alone want to live in America a year goes to show how amazing America truly is. Hitler invaded Russia with 3 million men. That was the largest invasion in history. And we have 2 million people trying to escape their crap life and live in the USA. That is just enormous amounts. It's crazy. Number 9. Amazing presidents. We should be proud of the many presidents that we have. I won't doubt that there are a lot of crappy presidents, but not only did we have presidents that made the country better, there were presidents who were morally amazing. Example, when Ulysses S. Grant was given a slave, he immediately set him free, even though the slave was worth a lot of money. When he was president, he had the KKK killed for the murder of innocent blacks. If Grant didn't do anything, the KKK would most likely have killed thousands more and become extremely popular in the South still. Teddy Roosevelt was given money by monopolies to stop, because he was going against their scheming. All he did was take the money, but didn't stop trying to stop them. He just continued going. He also did a lot for the public health of Americans, and tried to be a good moderate and showing kindness to other groups, like having the first black man officially invited in the White House, even when people threatened his life. Don't get me started on Abraham Lincoln. He saved all the slaves and was a strategist. He talked about making it about the Union, but in his writings said about how he always wanted slavery to be abolished, and he had to wait. How some people treat our heroes nowadays is disgusting and just sad to see. And finally, the last one, number 10. And finally, the big reason why I believe America is the greatest country on earth is because of God, the Lord Almighty. If you're not religious, then I understand. But this last one is more in a personal belief for me than just pure statistics and facts. America has always been a Christian nation and has made America so amazing and so powerful. We could not have done this without God. He gave us all the land, all the amazing resources, and enormous population. Without him, we would be British puppets or maybe split and gone. Unfortunately, the USA is going to decline, just due to the fall of morals and the split with the relationship with God. You might say, why didn't they combine church and state though? Because they knew, just as God had known, Christianity is more on the basis of choice. You have to want it. You have to go for it, not be forced to convert. Otherwise, wouldn't that just make you a false religion? And finally, in conclusion, America is about the choices you make. And those choices, in the end of the day, affect you. So if you blame all your problems on the patriarchy or white nationalism or the government, and you make yourself the victim and never show responsibility, then how do you expect yourself to truly succeed with that attitude? The whole point of the United States Foundation was to give you the choice and not have your choices affected so much by other groups like the government. So make the right choices and stop blaming America for all of your problems. And that's why America is the greatest country to ever exist. Thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed making this video. This took a long time. And yeah, I'll go. But thank you, and I'll see you another time. Peace out.